Hello and welcome back to Tales Off the Holotables, the only podcast for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that is pretending to be a video show. I am here with Old Man Logan, one of the three scoundrels. Now, Logan, I've been on your show a couple of times. When we first talked, the first thing I said to you was like, "I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back, and you come talk to me." For some reason, I got to Bones first. I don't know how that happened. So we had some technical difficulties.
Bones is good like that.
Yeah, he kind of weasels himself in, right?
Yeah, he kind of does a little slithery. I'm a snake.
And
Look,
and
snake.
you know what? The disgusting thing is, he is gonna listen to this and he's gonna
He
find
will.
all of this hilarious. He's not gonna be offended at all.
No, I
Um,
won't.
he's gonna he's gonna love every second of it. So the cool thing, and I was talking to Bones actually about it today, is when you first reached out to me, I didn't know who you were. You didn't really know who I was. And it turns out that we live within like 2 hours of each other. You live right next door, pretty much 10 minutes from my brother. So at some point, we're going to have to go and get a live beer.
Oh, absolutely. There is a really good bar in mind in the town that I live in called the Bourbon Room. And all they serve is, I mean, you can get a beer there, but primarily their thing is you can either get a really good whiskey, a really good scotch, a really good rye, a really good whatever it is your persuasion may be, or you can get one of their cocktail drinks that has to do with some form of whiskey, and it's a great spot. It's good stuff, and yeah, definitely we'll have to hit the live button when you make it to this part of town.
You know what's funny? I think that part of the reason why I had held off, I was like, oh, I'm going to make it up there soon. And it would be kind of cool to do like a hey, we're here together kind of thing, whether with the scoundrels or whether on my channel, doesn't really matter. I just think it would be kind of neat. I actually this last weekend I met up with a bunch of the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes redditors at a brewery down here. So a few guys that had been on my show, a few guys that I didn't know, and we hit up Magnify Brewing, and that was fun. I thought it was gonna be weird, a bunch of nerds getting together in a room with like arena payouts, but it wasn't bad.
No, it's funny. Bob and the other guy that started the show with me, Kane, they actually got together, and I think they mentioned that at first. Like, I don't really know this person other than online. How is this going to go? And they had the greatest time. Um, and no, I feel like if you have something in common that you can talk about, and granted, you don't really get to see the person firsthand, but I think over time when you get to chat with somebody, you can kind of get how they are, and then you can kind of make a determination: is this somebody I would want to meet or talk with or break bread, have a beer, whatnot? And I think that's common. And I think we all have a love. We have a love for this ridiculous game that we play on our phones. That our spouse looks over at us and goes, "What the hell are you doing on your phone for that long?" And we kind of go, "But babe, you don't understand. It's the raid. Like, I got to do this." So
It's it,
it's just
it's the same thing,
yeah,
except then I'll look over at her and she's playing like Candy Crush or like Pizza Maker or some other random game that
yeah.
TikTok has told her that she should be playing.
Or in my case, my wife is watching Love Is Blind on Netflix, and I'm just looking for an excuse to go upstairs and play Elden Ring or
we
Tekken 8 or something. I'm like, look, okay, I'm going upstairs now. You're in your world. I'm going to go to mine. So thank you very much.
I won't bore you with the details, but we were just watching The Bachelor together right before we got to talking. I'm in that world. I'm totally sucked in. I don't think anyone's gonna find love or anything. It's just funny. It makes me feel good about myself. I go, man, my life is not that bad.
Oh, I can't do
This
it. I
is
just, I can't do
I've
it.
never
Oh, I just can't do it.
I've never done Love Is
Ugh.
Blind, but I'm totally sucked in. Um, What I will say, because I'm on your Discord and I watch that stuff and I'm on there constantly. I wish we had met like 10 years ago because I love fighting games and I know you play Tekken 8 all the time. I'm not personally a Tekken person. That was never my game. I was always Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. But I can never, or I could never, find people to play these games with.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I got really into Mortal Kombat during Mortal Kombat 2, and then when Mortal Kombat 3 came out and they implemented the combo system, I got really into that. And then Tekken hit, and it didn't really have like a combo aspect, but the fact that it was kind of 3D
Yeah.
and somewhat in the realm of Virtual Fighter, I liked it. And then Tekken 2 came out, and it just Tekken 2, I feel revolutionized fighting games for what they should be today. I appreciate what Ed Boon tries to do with Mortal Kombat, with the reboot and everything else, and still tries to make it, a side scroller. But there is no there is no fighting game more technical, skill based, or intense than Tekken on the market right now. There isn't. I know I've seen some combos in Mortal Kombat where it's like, holy shit, how did you do that? But there are some things on Tekken 8 that I've seen people do, and it's like, dude, that was godly. Like, I don't know how you did that, but. And I mean,
Tekken.
you've got to think on the average, every character has about 100 moves to play with in their arsenal. Mortal Kombat, it's more like 30, 40.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm kind of guessing, but I've played Mortal Kombat, so it's not as in depth. And granted, as long as I've played Tekken, believe me, I've been playing online regularly since it came out, and I've kind of hit that roadblock where people are starting to whoop my ass, and I'm like,
hmm
damn, it's a lifetime of Tekken, and I'm getting my shit pushed in.
I've always told people with fighting games that for the average person, I'm really good at them. Right? I can pick up a game, I can figure it out, I'm going to kick all my friends' asses. But for a person who actually plays fighting games, I suck. So when I go online and the people have like their 100% combos and they like juggle
Yep.
you the entire match, I will never be able to do that. So I usually avoid it online. And my friends hated playing with me because I was a lot better than them.
And that's one of the big things about Tekken. If you screw up and you're playing against a skilled player, you'll get juggled till the other end of the arena, and then you'll get shoved up against a wall, and then they're just going to tee off on you, and the round is over.
Yeah,
So
I
it's incredibly technical. It's incredibly skilled. I'm not even going to front that I'm an expert. I'm not. I hold my own. Anybody on Discord that says, "Yeah, I play a little bit of Tekken," I go, "Okay, fight me." But someone that says, "I've joined tournaments," I'm gonna go, "Yeah, dude, you're probably gonna whoop my ass."
well, they can come over to the Three Scoundrels Discord and they can challenge you to a duel.
Indeed.
Uh, which
I've had a couple of you. I haven't fought him yet, but Jar Jar McGoat says that he plays, and I've been waiting to get a
and you
match
want to
with him. So we'll see what happens with that.
There was one time when I was younger, I think I was in college, and we were playing Smash Brothers. I don't remember which one, more arcade fighter, very different from what we're talking about right now.
Oh yeah.
And I happened to be very good in my friend group at the game with Samus. And I remember a friend of mine brought a tournament player over. Like, he happened to know a tournament player. And I was, like, boasting, as people do, and you go, oh, like, I'm so good, right? And I think the way that Super Smash Brothers players play is three stock and like no time limit. And don't quote me; it's been so long. I don't think I got a single life off of him. Like, he
You just
completely
got
obliterated me.
decimated. Yep.
Just destroyed. It was so embarrassing. Just so embarrassing.
Yep. Yep. There are those people that are just so good. and it almost comes natural. Like I've played Tekken for so long, and sometimes I feel like I should be better than where I am, considering how long I've played. But there are just some players that are just so quick and get moves off quicker than I can. I'm older, maybe reflexes are going, whatever. I don't know, but it's at the end of the day, I have fun with it. I win some fights, I lose some fights, I hold the ranking I'm at. That's it. You know.
You'll have to
Um,
stream during one of the early mornings because usually at night, like I don't watch a lot of videos. I don't watch a lot of streams. I've watched Bob do some of his stuff because he streams at random hours. You'll have to stream at like 6 in the morning when I can actually sit and watch because at
well, I
9.
will. I will be posting a stream here pretty soon. My son comes home from his embassy duty in Iraq early July, and he's United States Army, and he's played a lot of Tekken. And he's my son, so what does any son want to do?
Just kick
They
his
want to
dad's ass.
challenge the old man. So he has his PS5 out there at the embassy, and he's been practicing, and he's talked some shit to me a little bit, and I've kind of gone, all right, son, well, we'll see what happens when you get home. But the second he gets home, I will be announcing it on the Three Scoundrels Discord that the blood feud between, and it's funny because that's how the game is, father versus son. Um, no, we will be streaming those series of fights
The
between
whole
my
series.
son and I when he gets home.
And he
The,
plays.
those will be interesting. Those will
If
be
if if I recall, I don't get to listen to every Three Scoundrels episode because anytime you guys have me on, one, I don't want to listen to myself, but two, there's no reason to listen to something when I have been a part of the whole thing. But if I
true.
recall, he plays as well.
Yep. Nope. Yep. He plays. Um, he's been doing really well with his account. He stopped. He actually, after the great nerf, he quit and he was away for a while. And it was the GL packs, man. It
Yeah,
was the packs that came out that drew him back in, and that was his biggest thing. He was at that state in the game that kind of after the great nerf, he hung around for a little bit, and other GLs were happening, and he's like, "Why am I going to work on Slicker or Ray
yeah.
when I need to focus on the latest and greatest if I want to play and do what's necessary for my guild and TB and GAC and everything else." But then these packs came out, and it was several months ago when they first came out, and he messaged me and he's like, "Dad, I'm gonna get back in the game." And I'm like, "The packs?" He goes, "Yeah, bud, if you're gonna get back in the game right now is the time to do it, because you could literally spend $200 right now
And be on top.
and you will make up so much lost ground in terms of roster, depth, GLs, being able to do more in TW, TB. I mean, Conquest alone. How many players don't in Sector 1 of Conquest take Slicker and do the first 5 battles without blinking just to get
I
through?
I gotta be honest. I actually don't use him at all in Conquest unless I have to.
No?
Not at all.
See, that's weird. In Conquest, I try to plow through it as quickly as humanly possible so
Yeah.
I can work on datacrons. And again, I get it. Some people work on them, some people don't. My strategy is I try to get through Conquest as quickly as humanly possible. So with 8 GLs, I'm running my GLs to 60% stamina and then I stop.
Hmm.
But that's how many battles for 8 teams? So it's like
See,
that's
I try. Do you do more than 3 refreshes a day, or no?
I stop when it hits 200.
Okay, so you do 6 because I know you're a much bigger GAC player than I am. I know that you're a much bigger PvPer than I am, so datacrons are much more important to you. I do 3. My goal, I have a very similar strategy, but not as in depth. My goal is to get through each sector as fast as possible, but also leveraging the efficiency. So
Yeah,
I try
yeah.
to get as much as I can done, but I don't worry too much about it, right? Like I'll throw JMK and Cat against a Mando squad because I just don't want to deal with them because they're a pain in my ass, right? But I will do about a sector a day, and by day 5 or day 6 rather, I'll be just doing the cleanup stuff and the datacron nodes. So like today I did it, yesterday I did it. It's mostly datacron stuff, but I don't value the datacrons the same way that you do.
Well, it's funny. Also, depending on the data disk that I get, if I'm lucky in the first phase and I get a couple amplify agonies,
Yeah.
that makes your, if you have Riva and your Inquisitors are in
Oof.
good standing, that's another team that you're going to get 5 battles out of, and
Easy.
you're never going to lose a unit, and it's going to be 3 stars. Um, Honestly, the last legend I use in Conquest is Jedi Master Kenobi, for the sole reason that I feel that every now and again in Conquest, you'll bump into a Padme team and you'll lose somebody.
Hmm.
But you use Jedi Master Kenobi and Kat does her thing and you do it right, you won't lose anybody. Because, man, I don't know what it is, but that Padme team in Conquest is no joke.
That's exactly how
That
I use
shit is
JMK.
outrageous.
I do the exact same thing. I only use him as my
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with this button.
yeah,
And so he's
yeah.
always at 100%. But I use, I'll use Jabba, I'll use JML, I will use, I guess, Leia right now because of the Rebel feat, and Lord Vader. I love Lord Vader in Conquest.
And
For the,
I'm glad you brought that up, because there was an interesting conversation in the Three Scoundrels Discord where you said F that
yeah.
to Jedi Master Luke to Relic 9. And
Hmm.
I understand what you're saying. I know the other person, and they were just giving you shit, but I
Which is
understand the
fine.
push,
I appreciate
and
it.
I do. I understand the pushback, but I want to reiterate that while Jedi Master Luke, he was one of my first 5 Relic 9s that I did. Yes, you get the mastery, the protection. He's a tank. It's outstanding. I feel in terms of conquest and TB, because who the fuck puts Jedi Master Luke on defense?
Well, I mean, I
Nobody.
do, but I'm a turtle. So it's
No,
different.
you do, because
It's
you're a turtle. You do, but with how he's supposed to be used, which more often than not is offensively, Relic 8 is going to work just fine.
yeah,
And in Conquest, Relic 8, and that's where he said Conquest. And I'm going, wait a minute. You have enough caustic emissions, amplify agony, and everything else, and ruthless swiftness. It's not going to matter
yeah.
what relic level he's at. The team's going to lose. So, depending where you are in the game, if you're end game, yeah, you put him to 9, whatever. If you're more frugal and you're looking at your roster in terms of efficiency, Relic 8 is fine.
Well,
Relic 8 for
that's
Jedi Master Luke really is fine.
with Conquest too. Jedi Master Luke for me is not a kill quick team. I put him in front because I want to get feats done team. So I don't want him killing things. I want him slowing down battles so that I can like bounce around between the characters. But it comes down to when I have these discussions, and I had the discussion on your Discord today, and I had it with Captain Amazing, another newer streamer, a week, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I have it on Reddit constantly. Is I understand and I recognize that it makes the character better. There's no qualms about that at all. It makes him amazing, but in terms of ROA, it does nothing for me because of how I play. And right after having that discussion, my TW officer sent out a message giving us like 5 projects that he was asking us to consider. And I had messaged him back because the first one was Jedi Master Luke to R9. And I said to him, Yak, listen, I'll do all 4 other projects for you. I'll do more than anybody else, but it's just, that's my one thing now. I feel like I'm just so adamantly against it that I have to keep him at R8 until there's like an actual need in terms of what I use him for.
And the way you use him and where you are in the game, I just don't feel it's not necessary. It's not. Like with what you need him to do, he's doing it. Because honestly, even in GAC, I know you turtle, but even when you put him on defense, with datacrons, mods, and everything else that's out there, it doesn't matter if he's 8 or 9. If a team wants to beat him, he's gonna be beat. There's counters
Yes.
for it. It doesn't matter what relic level he's at. I mean, what are the odds that that extra 30,000
Nothing.
some odd protection for an extra relic level is going to make that bit of a difference? The odds of that making that difference are so minuscule. It's not worth the resources. It's where somebody like you, like honestly, when I found out you had Mon Mothma at Relic 9, I went, dude, that's brass balls right there. Like that's
Well,
damn.
that's it. I had said it to you guys. You know, as an officer, I don't know if you're an officer in your guild or not, but for
No, I
me,
don't. I don't.
no,
No, no, I don't want that. No,
I would never
nope.
do it again.
I'll
I'll
never
tell you
do
that
it.
right now.
Period. Nope.
Um,
Don't even ask me. Nope.
but for me, when we're going into Planet 5 and we need R9s, my philosophy is. Oh, I think I lost you. Hold on.
Nope.
There you go. I
We
still
had
hear
a
you though. You're good.
glitch.
That's okay. That happens, and
We had a
we
glitch.
can cut that out. That means I have to do a little editing. It's fine. But
Editing. We had a glitch.
my philosophy though is that if I'm gonna ask people to R9 stupid crap, that I have to be on top of that. So I have an R9 Mon Mothma. I have an R9 Hoth Rebel Soldier. I have an R9 or an R8 Hoth Rebel Scout. Just because if I'm gonna say, hey, you need to R9 Bodhi Rook, I need to put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
It wasn't it was willingly. I did it knowing no one would want to do it, but I would have preferred not to.
Like I think with my roster size, when I joined Old Dirty Blasters, they weren't going for max crate for the speeder bike raid yet. We were close, and then they put out a vote. Do we all want to go for max? And I voted yes because the rewards for max crate and the speeder bike raid are, dude,
I keep
it's
hearing you
fucking
talk about it,
it's fucking outrageous how much shit you get.
and I'm
It's,
so jealous.
dude, it's, again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or but if you happen to be in a guild where you're close to getting max crate, you need to make that push because the amount of relic eights you're going to be able to add and the material you're going to get is just ridiculous. So somebody in the guild who is like a raid specialist messaged me and said, look, you need to put Veers, Stark, Nisa, and Admiral Akbar to Relic 8, and you will be able to hit the threshold where you should be, and everyone else should be, and our guild will hit max crate. And I did it. I did it. Nisa was the hardest one. That was the one that I kind of swallowed my pride with. Veers and Stark, I kind of went, well, sometimes in GAC or somewhere else, really strong Imperial troopers can come in handy. And Akbar, his fleet is so incomplete. Lord knows if something else comes out, it could benefit me in the long run. So okay, I'll do it. So I did that, and then we have hit max crate 4 or 5 times now, and I could probably put 4 tunes to Relic 8 right now if I want to do. Like I'm sitting on that much stuff. You get so much of that. What is it? The
The
the Mark
MK3.
1 or that, yeah, the it's so ridiculous how much you get of that.
What I will say though is, and this is not something that I've done. This is secondhand knowledge, so I cannot confirm or deny it. But people much smarter than I am have said and done the math, and essentially, it's March, not March. Holy shit! It's February 27th now,
Yes.
and I
Yep.
believe it was early February was like the cutoff for where it makes sense to push
Yes.
something.
Yes. I think that was
So
mentioned on the Holotable News Network.
yes,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Pico and Sarah
Yes.
mentioned that if you didn't hit a certain, might have been him or Zareth and Solo, but either one of those two shows made a statement that if you didn't hit it at a certain threshold, it was not worth it.
Correct. And it wasn't, it was Pico and Sarah. It was their show because I remember
Was
hearing
okay.
it on there. But it wasn't them who had said it. I don't remember who their source was. They do quote it on their show, but I don't remember the guy who said it. So being that I'm so far away from it, my guild doesn't want to do it. I am pushing more for this next raid to be like, all right, guys, we gotta ramp it up, and I'm doing it with my R9, my my. I'm like, this is only funny. Oh my god.
More editing. What you were saying?
This is only funny to me because I know how much
I
you
can't
hate
hear.
it. No, you can't hear me yet. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna have to do so much freaking editing. So much. I know. Hold on. Video capture, source, microphone. Give me 1 sec. Oh, I'm gonna have to do. I know. Give me a second. Give me a second. Do you hear me? No? No. Let's do a little transition. No. I know I can hear you. Do you want to try leaving and rejoining again? Maybe this is not a case.